I just made a training about how you can build more muscle mass in just 3 hours per week. I did this on my LinkedIn and my private Facebook group. So it's about 15-20 minutes. It's a bit of an in-depth training video. So if you can have a little listen, trust me, there's going to be some key training pointers that you can apply to your own training if you want to get in amazing shape. So have a little listen and I hope you enjoy it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. All right.
Yes, good evening, because it's evening in the UK. If you are in the States, then good afternoon. I hope everybody is well. Today, guys, we're gonna keep it nice and simple, and I hope everybody's having a good, solid day and enjoying their Easter. If you are tuned in, just before I even get started, I just want to let you guys know from just letting you know straight away. If you are interested, I do have a free fat loss guide currently. If you head to my bio in my LinkedIn page, you'll be able to see it for free. Or if you're in the Facebook group, just go straight to the guide section of the Facebook group and you'll be able to see it in there. So, guys, today I want to talk about the top tips to build more muscle. If you're struggling to build muscle, whether you're a man or a woman, it can be done. And it's very, very important that you learn how to do this, because the more muscle you have, the more metabolically active you are, the more calories you burn. And to be honest, if you can get in that situation, then the likelihood is obviously you are going to be uh, in better shape for the rest of your life, not just temporarily. Right? And that's not what we want. We don't want to be in a situation where we're only in shape for certain parts of the year. The more muscle you have on your body, the more calories and the more metabolically active your body is. And the truth is, we can lose weight in just 3 hours a week. And that's really what I want to talk about, how we can build more muscle in just 3 hours a week. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to talk to you about some things that I think are going to make your training way more effective. Whether you're a man or a woman, right? Spending 3 or 4 hours in a gym is just not realistic. And if you've got kids, if you're a busy dad or you're a busy mother, and you're in the corporate world, but you're also running a family, you're also running a business, training for hours on end is just not sustainable. And you're not young anymore. You're not like in college or university where you've got all that time in the world. You have to think about planning and training in a way that is most effective. So I'm going to touch on a few points as to why these things will be important for you, and we'll kind of just go from there, really. So let me just shift this and share my screen. All right, let's get straight into it. Just a reminder, guys, if you are interested in any of my free guides, I have a free fat loss guide currently on my page, and you can jump straight in there and download it. It's absolutely free. It will take you to a Facebook group, but you'll also get an email. So if you don't want to join the Facebook group, just look at the email, send the keyword, and I will send the guide to you for free. Let me just share a tab, and I'll get this thing up and running. So let me present this. So I want to talk to you guys about some of the main things that you really need to look into if you really want to try and maximize your strength, because the stronger you are, the better you are at avoiding injury, the more testosterone you have as a man, the better you feel. Imagine if you're a parent and you can't even lift or play with your kids. These are all things that are going to be really critical to us as human beings. So, firstly, these are the things I'm going to talk about, and then we'll get straight into it. So, the main thing is technique, right? This is the starting point. There's going to be some exercises that are going to be more difficult than others. But if you can get your technique right, the likelihood is you're going to see more gains. Some people ask me, should I squat deep? Or, and the deeper you squat, the more muscles you recruit. Now, for me, in my opinion, these are some of the most difficult exercises to get right. And this is probably why you need a coach, right? You need someone to review your exercises. You need someone to review everything. Now, I've been training for over 10 years. I've been at professional football clubs. I've played D1 college soccer. I still get my technique wrong. But there's some things you should focus on. You want to focus on being controlled. You want to focus on being slow and methodical with your training, because you want to be able to recruit as much muscle fibers as possible. And to add that is the weight selection. How much weight are you actually lifting? That's going to make a really big difference. If you are doing any weight training, drop a comment below and let me know like what's your favorite exercise, and what's the most difficult exercise that you found. A lot of people tell me deadlifts are the most difficult exercise, but I'd love to know, if you're watching this, drop a little comment to say what exercise you find the most difficult. So sometimes you might get a program and it will say something like 8 to 10 reps or 10 to 12 reps. The truth is, if you can't hit that rep range, then that means that weight is too heavy for you. You need to decrease the weight. But if you're hitting the top end of that rep range, so let's use this example, 8 to 10. If you're hitting 10 reps very easily, you need to increase the weight that you're lifting, because your muscle will get used to what you're doing. So you need to kind of not shock the muscle, but you need to keep it progressing. And this concept is what we call progressive overload. Again, if you're tracking what you're doing every single week, all you have to do is up it, lift a bit more. Now, a lot of people say, should I use machines or should I use like free weights? The research out there does suggest that the muscle gained doesn't really make a difference. However, just because you leg press 200 kilos doesn't mean you can squat 200 kilos. And that's because it's two different exercises. Okay, you may be working the legs, but it's not translated in the same way in terms of your ability to do things. So, in my personal opinion, I think that if you are a beginner, then yes, sticking to machines and that is great. But if you're someone who's, you've kind of progressed in the gym, you need to be looking at using free weights, because that's going to help you become more athletic. It's going to help you move in multiple planes of motion, and that means in multiple directions. It's going to be a lot better for you as an individual if you can learn to maximize these things. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't use free weights. And then lastly, some of the targets, man, and these are things that you should be aiming for. If you're a guy and you can't squat at least 1.5 your body weight, so that's your body weight and a half. So if you're 100 kilos and you can't squat 150 kilos, that's a bit of a problem. If you can't deadlift, I would say at least 2 times your body weight, then we've got some work to do. Again, bench pressing at least your body weight and a quarter. Pull-ups, if you're a guy who can do 15 pull-ups in one go, that's pretty good. And push-ups in one go, 40 reps. Women, now this is going to be a lot harder for you. Squatting probably might be easier, but at least your body weight and a quarter. Again, at least 1.5 times your body weight. Bench pressing, you should try to be able to bench press at least your body weight. Now, upper body for women is always a lot slower to progress, but it can be progressed. And that's the real key thing here. It can be progressed. Just because it's slower doesn't mean it can't happen. And you just got to bear that in mind. And then you need to remember that, like, you shouldn't be worried if you can't do something, right? Like, no one's perfect. It's more about doing it over time and pushing yourself to be able to achieve these things. And essentially, some of the things you need to aim for, if you've got minimal time in the gym, you can't be afraid to go heavier, because if you're going really slow week after week and you're not progressing anything, then guess what? Your body is not going to improve. Some general guidelines that you want to look for is try to improve the weight that you lift every 2 to 3 weeks by at least 2.5 to 5 kilos. And for the Americans, that's probably around 5 to 10 pounds, right? Squatting and bench pressing on your own is not dangerous. A lot of people get scared of, doing too heavy and hurting themselves. You can do it in your own way. You need to learn how to use safety pins, learn how to escape certain exercises. You'll do just fine. Slow and controlled with the reps. If you've only got 45 minutes in the gym 3 times a week, you need to be effective. You need to have a plan, 5 to 6 exercises, and you need to go for it. You need to know exactly what you're doing. And if you're not sure with technique, you need to get yourself a coach. It doesn't matter if it's an online coach or an in-person coach. You need someone that's going to make sure your technique is okay, but don't do things that you're not ready yet. The main thing here is getting help. And a lot of people hate to hear this. I'm a coach and I still have a coach. So when people say I don't need a coach, I look at them like, I don't know about that, because everyone needs a coach. Even I still have a coach. So just remember that. So if you was to put all of these things in place, you would be able to build a lot more muscle mass. So that's about it when it comes to the muscle mass and the training and things that you really should probably be looking into when it comes to improving your strength and building more muscle mass. And guys, if you was to hit your major muscle groups 2 times per week, if you hit your major muscle groups 2 times per week, all you need is a minimum of 3 gym sessions a week to actually build more muscle mass and improve your strength. Now, the rate at which you build that muscle mass, you should be looking to build about 0.5 to 1.5% of pure muscle mass every single month. And this depends on how big you are, how strong you are, and how long you've been training. But these are still key things that you want to keep an eye on. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Again, like I said, nice and simple. If you are interested in learning more about improving your strength, improving your training, lowering your body fat, getting in amazing shape, I do have a free guide. It's absolutely free. There's no catch. All you have to do is put in your email and your name, and you'll get a free guide. Or if you're interested in also a recipe pack, which I know a lot of people are interested in, kind of learn how to eat right. I have a free recipe pack also on my profile. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. Thank you for those who have joined in. Anything you have questions on, just drop me a personal message. I'll be more than happy to talk about it, and send you one of my free guides if you're interested.